Hello traders, Brian DeMoe at DayTradingFutures.net doing a video on the British pound. This is the British pound cross of the US dollar, and this is also a 4-hour chart that we're looking at. Now, we just experienced a huge dip to the downside, breaking the top ascending trend line in green that I've drawn on the chart. We also have a blue ascending trend line and a red ascending trend line. And so let me first explain the technical analysis, then we'll go into the short fundamentals. So technically, if you were jumped into this in a short position, I would certainly urge you to continue to hold that. I don't think that it's going to correct to the upside at this level. And if you haven't jumped into a short position riding this momentum downward, then it's still safe to jump in now. This last 4-hour candle that we have printed here on this chart closed at the bottom of the candle. There is no bottom wick, so that definitely tells me that the market's closed and that there is just still still some price action for it to go further down. So we do have that blue ascending trend line that kind of played as a little bit of a stopping point, but again, I don't believe that's going to hold. So maybe if you want, on your chart, you can draw that blue ascending trend line, and opening day Sunday, you can kind of evaluate to make sure that I'm correct. But if we do break that, and if it looks like from your indicators and from the price action alone that we're still going to go down, definitely want to jump into a short position. Now, I have on my arrows here, this is my first target where this first arrow here stops. And this is actually the first line of support, and I apologize that this got kind of misaligned on my chart here. But this line here at 164,602 is the first line of support, and this 163,963 is the second line of support, this line here. Excuse me. So first target will be this first line of support for your short positions. It's possible that we have at that area a short-term rally. Just back up possibly to this blue trend line. And if we do break that, that's possible too, due to the cables that are coming out this week. But as a second line or second target, my second target would be this rising or ascending trend line that I have drawn in red. Now, on Tuesday we have there's several cables coming out Tuesday, Wednesday, and I believe also something on Thursday. And then as well, obviously, there's the large impacting U.S. Data also coming out, which will influence most or all currencies cross with the U.S. dollar. But specifically for the pound, we have the GDP data to be released on Tuesday, 3:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and it's really, I've heard split down the middle. I've read that it's hawkish and dovish on the outcome of that cable. So that cable, if it's above expectations, will probably be released. Depending on how fast we continue down, it's possible that we already hit this red trend line when that cable on Tuesday is released. So that's the full trading day, Sunday and Monday, that we have until that cable's released. So again, it's possible that the price action gets all the way down to this red trend line, or if it starts slowing down when we get to this first line of support and we kind of get a bounce, we may see some sideways action until that cable is released on Tuesday. So if the cable is above or well above expectations, then we'll certainly get a break back up above this blue trend line, and then a long opportunity possibly targeting this top ascending trend line in green. If the cable is neutral, meaning that it's about the area of the forecast or expectations, then I think that if we haven't already gotten down to this line of support, this red trend line, then I think that it still will hit. Now, if it's below expectations, then we will see a possible continuation of this weakness down to the second line of support here at the 163,963 area. I apologize, I have a little bit of a cold. So excuse my coughing and my scratchy voice. But so first line of support, first target. Second target is the red trend line, and then should the cable be under, or the data on that cable is under expectations, then you can certainly hold on to that short position and use this second line of support here as your final target. Now, it's possible that regardless of the cables, we do have the correction up without the support of higher than expected data on any of the cables that are released this week for the British pound. I don't think that we're going to have a break of this blue trend line due to the massive sell-off that we have here. It just doesn't make sense that without any kind of catalyst projecting it back up, we're not going to see a huge rally back above to this green trend line. So in the event that we start going sideways here, or if we come back up, I would take off my contracts here. Unless it looks like we're going to continue to break down to this red trend line, and so maybe take half of my position off at this first line of support, and then finally exiting or going flat on my position here. If it looks like we're going to have a bounce at this first line of resistance, first line of support, regardless of the fundamentals, then going flat here is ideal. I wouldn't take a long position. I would just kind of see what happens. If we come all the way back up to this blue trend line as this green arrow portrays, then I would definitely take another short position at this level with the same type of setup. Target the first line of support being my first target, red trend line being my second, and then if the fundamentals, if the news and just the general bias is very bearish on the currency itself, then you can always use the second line of support as a final target to take or to flatten out your position. So that's what we have. Again, we have high impacting cables coming out on the British pound Tuesday, medium impacting cables coming out on Wednesday. So keep your ear to the ground in terms of the news. Also, bear in mind too that we have the tapering decision coming out, I believe, on the 27th. So that's coming up on this week too. That'll have also super high impact with all the currencies crossed at the US dollar across the board. So we have a lot going on in terms of news. We should expect a lot of volatility. And for short swing setups, it's going to be really hard to predict using technical analysis, just because the fundamentals can trump technical analysis on almost any occasion when there's so much in the news. So that's it. If you have any questions, contact us at DayTradingFutures.net, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you.